So in this segment, we're going to be talking about the EU threatening to suspend parts of the Brexit agreement, the trade and cooperation agreement, and warns patience is growing thin. So this is over the UK's kind of actions and threats of unilateral action in regarding the Northern Ireland Protocol. So this is the EU kind of talking tough here, and it's going to be interesting to see, if they actually do punish the UK over the unilateral actions we've already taken and the more threats of unilateral action. So the EU will suspend parts of the Brexit trade agreement unless the UK ends its refusal to implement the Northern Ireland Protocol. Boris Johnson has been warned. So again, this is tough talk. Here. Johnson, after talks failed to achieve a breakthrough, Maros Sefcovic, the European Commission Vice President, warned patience is wearing very, very thin. And so it's going to be interesting to see what areas they put tariffs on. Are they going to target, Tory seats with things like tariffs and sanctions that will mainly impact, Tory kind of constituencies? Or are they going to take a more broad approach? These are the things the EU could do. The EU does, in trade wars, take typically target approaches. So they'll target, Kentucky bourbon or something like that if they were targeting specific senators. So once again, the EU have been very slow with regards to taking actions against the UK. Maybe they're starting to wake up a bit, who knows? So Brussels is ready to slap tariffs and quotas on UK exports. So you've got two different things there. Quotas means there'll be a limit on UK exports of, say, whatever, meats, fish, name a product, really. And tariffs, obviously, that's a tax. So when that product, say lamb, is shipped to the EU from the UK, there'll be, say, a 30% tariff on it. So there'll be a 30% tax on that product. He also said they may even suspend cooperation in certain sectors, pointing on deals on trades and services. So as far as I know of, the UK, there is a kind of agreement to give services temporary equivalency. So the UK can still trade in services till, I think, June of next year. I'm not 100% sure, but that could be suspended by the EU. That would cause a real huge exodus of financial services or services in general from the UK into the EU. They're still debating over things like equivalency for the City of London and stuff like that. So if the EU did this, it would be kind of it wouldn't be a warning shot really. This would be a leg shot. If they suspended agreements surrounding services. Frosty, the Iceman, the Brexit minister, described the result as no breakthroughs and no breakdown, talking about the recent kind of talks between him and Maros Sefcovic. Crucially, he failed to rule out the UK unilaterally delaying the ban on the export of chilled meats from Great Britain due to come in at the end of this month, the sausage war. So that's something I think we should have spoken about, depending on how the scheduling works. Again, the sausage wars narrative is just a load of rubbish. By the time this video comes out, the one I've made debunking it should have come out. But if you haven't seen that one, basically it's the UK getting angry that grace periods are ending on things that we agreed to, despite the fact that we gave absolute assurances that we are okay with the grace periods ending at those times. So once again, we're crying foul. So stupid. The EU Commission Vice President warned that if further unilateral action is taken, the EU would react swiftly, firmly and resolutely to ensure the UK sticks to the protocol it agreed and signed. So that's the complete opposite of how the EU have reacted so far, which is slowly, softly and with no resolution. So once again, if the UK do this, it's going to be interesting to see how fast the EU strike back in terms of punishment. But, I don't know if the UK are going to extend the grace period on things like chilled meats. But with marching season coming, if the UK fail to extend the grace periods, then I think that'll be another kind of issue that, Edwin Poots talks about in Northern Ireland, as well as those other kind of hardline, crazy DUP kind of radical unionists, I guess. The UK has to abide by its legal obligation and perform these controls, Sefcovic told a press conference in London. So again, it's going to be interesting to see what the EU do, because we are not abiding by our legal obligations within the Northern Ireland Protocol. Unfortunately, there are still numerous and fundamental gaps in the UK's implementation of our agreement. These gaps need to be filled, which is absolutely true. We're still not holding up our end of the bargain at all when it comes to checks within the Irish Sea. The legal action the UK has already started over the UK shelving earlier promised checks would end up in the European Court of Justice, with the case likely in early autumn. So we're talking, September, October, which is really far away from now when you think about it. So even if the UK decided to extend this, extend this grace period on chilled meats. How exactly are the EU going to react, and how quick will it be, considering that the UK extended the grace periods in March, I think it was, on parcels and on supermarkets and stuff like that. So again, the EU are being very slow here, and that's one of the issues with legal action. It can take a long time to draw up the documents and stuff like that. It does show you how kind of I'm going to say incompetent the EU were when it comes to understanding how the UK government works. Did you think that Boris Johnson wouldn't lie to you when he's consistently lied his whole career? It's a bit embarrassing, a bit naive from von der Leyen and the gang. Pretty embarrassing stuff here. In an interview after the meeting, the Iceman hit out at Brussels saying what the EU is insisting on is that we operate the protocol in an extremely purist way. Not really, they're just asking you to uphold our end of the bargain. That's it. Like, if that's what you describe as extremely purist, then fine. The law in this country is genuinely done in a purist legal sense. You can't kill someone and argue, oh well, stuff and stuff. You can't come up with nonsense excuses. If Frost murdered someone and then it's like, oh, the judge is operating in an extremely legally purist way, it's not very fair. Like, you're going to look like a mug. In fact, you already look like a mug. The reality is that it's a very balanced document that's designed to support the peace process and deal with the sensitive politics in Northern Ireland. That's true, and if we actually had the border facilities in place, the checks would be easier because you would have more staff and more border posts to deal with stuff going from GB to NI, but you don't. You never bothered to train the staff needed, did you, buddy? Šefčovič insisted the EU was ready to compromise over the supply of medicines, VAT on second-hand cars, livestock movements, and steel tariffs, and many other examples. So we've kind of covered this on things like medicines. It's not clear if the EU have actually compromised on these things, or if they had offered this kind of compromise, but nothing came of it. I'm not sure, to be honest. Šefčovič goes on to say, but we cannot undo the core of the protocol, he warned, threatening cross-retaliation measures that would undo the zero-tariff, zero-quota deal the UK secured in Christmas. So, again, what kind of legal action would you want to see the EU take if the UK do decide to extend grace periods? Do you think we're going to see tariffs and sort of tariffs being put onto UK goods or quotas? I think tariffs would probably be the most damaging thing to the UK, especially since the UK, I don't think we could actually put retaliatory tariffs on right now because we're not checking EU goods. So that's going to be quite interesting to see. Also, the fact that HMRC are already swamped with backdated checks and things like that, which is a story we're going to cover at some point soon, hopefully, depending on how much more information comes out about the Northern Ireland Protocol. Asked what part of Brexit deal would be suspended, Šefčovič pointed to trade part services parts. I think if they target services, that would be far more damaging because services are already leaving the UK and that would give them a further excuse to leave. But he said, I wouldn't specify them right now. I think it's probably a good idea to specify them right now so the UK knows how badly we're going to get hit if we do unilateral actions, considering the UK doesn't really take the EU seriously right now. I genuinely don't think we actually think the EU are going to do anything about us suspending parts of the Northern Ireland Protocol. We really do not have the menu. We didn't come here to tell them we are going to do this and that precisely. We just told them there is a possibility. Let's avoid this. Well, you sound very threatening when you say, look, there's a possibility of maybe we do quotas and tariffs and stuff, but we really don't want to do this. But if you came out and said, look, if you take unilateral action here, we're going to put tariffs on these goods, quotas on these goods, and make some other things happen. That's far more threatening. That's far more like you're actually going to do something when the UK takes unilateral action. Again, Šefčovič is being far too nice here, which is unfortunate. However, the Vice President said it was not true that the EU was discussing an emergency plan to restrict Ireland's access to the single market to solve the crisis as reported. It sounds like someone might have discussed it and then someone, for some reason, told Politico about it. That seems to be the case. And the whole thing blew up because some idiot decided to brief the press. Like, whoever you are, stop it. Like, you should be fired by now, honestly. Ahead of the face-to-face meeting with Mr. Johnson in Cornwall, Mr. Biden's national security advisor said his message would be the need to protect the peace process. This is Jack Sullivan, who we've cited before, saying whatever they find to proceed must, at its core, fundamentally protect the gains of the Good Friday Agreement and not imperil that, not to mention the fact that America is a guarantor of the Good Friday Agreement. And that is the message that Joe Biden will send when he's in Cornwall, which is coming up over the weekend. So Edwin Poots said it is time to remove the internal UK barriers rather than talking about the outworkings of those barriers. And that's the thing where Edwin Poots wants the complete kind of end of the Northern Ireland Protocol, which it probably won't happen, but that's what he's pushing for. And the fact is, he's going to do probably a bit to maybe stoke tensions in Northern Ireland. He's already, I think his party have kind of done that already by talking to paramilitaries and stuff like that. I'm not sure how. I'm not sure what he's going to do, but yeah, the fact that they've allegedly spoken to paramilitaries and stuff is pretty scary stuff, to be honest with you. And I'm very nervous about the situation in Northern Ireland right now, and Ireland if things start spilling over. If Brussels is deaf to the problems, then our own government must act unilaterally to protect Northern Ireland. Dude, I think you've got it flipped over. That the UK is deaf to the problems within Northern Ireland, and that's the top and bottom of it. If the UK actually put in the border staff there and the facilities in place, the checks wouldn't be so bad because you'd have enough people to check the goods and there won't be as many delays. But I don't think you understand that part. The former head of the government's department for exiting the EU said Mr. Johnson's attempt to play tough with Brussels was short-sighted and risky. Absolutely it was, because they are in a better position to retaliate against us with tariffs and sanctions than the UK is, considering we don't even have the staff to check EU goods right now. So us putting tariffs on EU goods would be quite difficult, especially since the UK is desperate to avoid any kind of food shortage, considering we import, I think it's about 60% of our food or something like that from the EU. We import a lot of food from the EU, so if you put tariffs on that food, that's going to raise food prices dramatically. So I can't imagine the government doing that, and so the government's only real manoeuvre here is to keep extending unilaterally parts of the Northern Ireland Protocol. So I don't know what more to say apart from the fact that this is a very tricky situation. I'm glad I'm not involved in any of this stuff, but the simple fact is the UK is once again kind of causing problems now with the Northern Ireland Protocol. The EU have been very slow to react, but I think that they finally kind of got the hint that the UK isn't going to play fair, and so the EU are going to have to take tough actions. But at the end of the day, I don't know the way out of this situation, because the UK is not going to do alignment. We're not going to get equivalency from the EU because we really cannot be trusted in that regard. So I don't really know where we go from here. If you guys know, if you got a crystal ball, or if you're good at predictions, maybe you've won some minor amounts at the lottery. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.